Please welcome PTC and Vuforia.
Good evening, everybody. So I work here at PTC, so we're not quite a startup, but we are very entrepreneurial, especially in the products that we build. I work here as a augmented reality product manager for PTC's Vuforia products. And I want to take a little bit of a different take on the beginning of this presentation. It being the beginning of the year, I spent some time thinking about, how did I get here? How did I get to a place where I get to work on a technology I really love and am passionate about, and I get to work at a market-leading technology provider who's really paving the way for industrial augmented reality. And it hit me, it was really events like this, where I was able to connect with people with expertise. These are the things that you don't learn in a classroom. I moved to Boston, and I knew I wanted to get an AR, but I didn't know where to start. It wasn't something I took a class on. It wasn't something that I could open a book and learn everything about. But going through these events, I really connected with people who knew what they were talking about and shared the things that aren't written down. And then it kind of hit me that these are the types of learnings and ways that our customers learn, especially in service and manufacturing. A lot of the information isn't written down. It's not recorded. It's learned through job shadowing programs. It's learned through mentorship. But there's a huge challenge that's facing the industry, especially in manufacturing and service. There's 2 million jobs in manufacturing open, and this is compounded by a large portion of the population is retiring. And so our customers are going to us and they're scrambling. They don't know what to do. They're trying to figure out how they can leverage this expertise within the organization and ensure it doesn't retire. And compounded on that are things like the traditional way to give work instructions with 2D manuals are not very effective. So at Vuforia, we have a large breadth of different augmented reality technologies, things from mobile SDKs that you can embed in your app, remote collaboration applications you can have App Store, and content creation tools. And so we looked at this problem. We said, how can we address this? How can we make sure that the expertise gets passed down to the next generation? And that's when we came up with Vuforia Expert Capture. This is a product that's been in the market for about a year. It's comprised of 3 different components. The capture application, which is an application on a HoloLens and a RealWear, where the person who's really the domain expert on the work gets to put it on, do their work as they do, and all those steps get recorded. Then it gets brought into the editor, where it can be added and with additional text and videos and refined, and then it gets published out to a variety of different devices. So here's the capture application in play. It's kind of a funny story. This is with a partner of ours, Rockwell. They bring this device across the world to go to different shows, and they never had a great documentation. And because of it, the one expert was, on call in the middle of the night, having to pick up, troubleshoot the problem. And when we saw this, we said, hey, this is really a good opportunity for you to make sure that those instructions are properly documented. So you can see he's wearing a RealWear device, and he's saying things like next step. He's adding voice commands, bookmarks, and photos. And all of these steps then get brought into the editor environment, where they can be continued to enhance with those pictures, those videos. Maybe your organization already has existing schematics. Those can be added as well. And then after this, it gets brought out and published. And this is where the magic happens. So this is, you're looking through the eyes of a HoloLens. And the great thing about AR is not only does it tell you, what are the instructions you should do, but it tells you where those are as well. So you can think about it as being a heads-up display or a GPS directing you and where the instructions are. We're really excited to have a large partnership with Microsoft. We had support for the HoloLens 2 as soon as it came out. We're looking forward to the future of that device as well. And so this is one example from our partner Rockwell, but I also wanted to bring up an example from Global Foundries. This is a company that manufactures silicon chips, and they've taken on the device as a tool to increase the training time. So instead of having everyone sit down in a classroom and learn everything that they could possibly run into when maybe half of it isn't a situation, you use AR as a tool to give them just-in-time training. And also, the capture application allows for that standard operating procedure to be documented 10 times faster. And I'm gonna wrap it up on there. Thank you guys for coming out here. Really excited about the future of AR here at PTC. This is just one of the many products that we're building here. Feel free to ask me any questions about some of the other products we're building as well. I think with that, I got time for questions to get stumped.
Does Vuforia allow for the non-expert to check whether they're doing something right by saying, you're not quite getting this right?
Yep. Great question. So the question was, does Vuforia allow for a way for the non-expert to ensure that he's doing the right instructions? And the answer is yes. We have an application called Vuforia Chalk. So you can think about that as essentially FaceTime with the added benefit of being able to mark up the environment in 3D. So it's a you see what I see kind of scenario. So if they get into a situation where they don't know what they're doing, they can call in a remote expert. Let's see, any other questions? Yes, Chuck.
First of all, a comment was a brilliant idea. Not only are you capturing institutional knowledge in these spots, but the one thing that makes it stand out is most training documents as an observer. This, you create your learner to be participants, so you change the point of view. So even your image is not reversed. You're not like I'm looking over here. I'm actually looking from the standing side, looking at brilliant. Now, what other, where else do you see it on the
Another place, so another question was, where else do we see this being applied? It's also to enable the person to ensure that they've been trained on the steps and that they've gone through certain tests, and then there's been a recording that said, this person has completed this part of the test, they've passed the requirements, and now they can go on and do this in production. So this is a way for them to kind of capture all of those training steps and validate that they're ready to do their job in production as well. Yeah. Right. In this scenario, you would, we showed the example of the expert capturing the work they would do, but the novice would also capture that so that the expert asynchronously could ensure that they were doing things safely. Yes, I'll go right next to you. So the market for manufacturing is huge, and we see 2 million jobs that are left unfulfilled. So this is in a way for us as manufacturing companies who don't have a way to get those people trained and ready in a fast and expedient way to onboard them quicker. Yeah, you're welcome. Yep. So the question is, how is this different than pre-recorded trainings and videos? One key difference within this is the ability to direct people of where those instructions were. So in the HoloLens, it also had a kind of think about your GPS that directs you to where to go. In addition to that, video editing itself takes a fairly, good understanding of the production process. Kind of the beauty of expert capture is, as you're going through those steps, they're being cut. So that saves the time, the editing process, so you can produce those content without a high level of production video expertise. Go right here.
What's your strategy in terms of bringing this to market? Are you targeting more at machine manufacturers or like original vendors who make complex machines, and then use them as to develop the content and share it with the end users who use the end machines? Or is it basically the end users who will develop the content on the road and use it for their implementation?
Yeah, so the question is, what's kind of the go-to-market strategy? Are we targeting the original manufacturers of this equipment, or are we targeting the people within the manufacturing environment? And we've seen use cases in both. The first traction is really in the manufacturing environment, where they get huge losses if for things like scrap work. So if someone, does the wrong instruction at the wrong time, maybe 1 million of those wafers are now having to be trashed. So they feel that pain really strongly, more so than the machine builder. So it's ensuring that they have the expertise, the documentation in-house, so that they can eliminate problems like scrap and rework, so that they can manufacture their equipment more efficiently, and they can ensure they're doing their job safely as well. Cool. That's the end of the questions, but thank you guys, and looking forward to the rest of the presentations.